Hello, this is Andrea from OurDayDream. And today's guest is Brett Dolshaw, aka Kansas City Bird, aka KCB. He is a musician, an MC, a songwriter, and a composer. So I'm going to welcome Brett, aka KCB. Hello, there you are.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm just been resting today and been waiting on this interview. So I finally got it all set up.
Awesome. I'm excited. I've been excited for a while. So my first question for you is, when did you know that you wanted to be a musician?
I would say when I was 9 years old, I started playing violin, and my mom got me a violin, and I actually still have that same violin. And so that's when I started to actually learn how to read music. And I was part of a youth orchestra, symphonic orchestra. And so that's probably when.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then right now, the music that you do, you're an MC, you're a songwriter, you write all your songs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. When did you decide to be Christian music? Did you always do Christian music, or was there a transition?
I actually played in again with the orchestra thing. I played in a church when I was young teen, and then I played in like I was saying, a youth orchestra, and we traveled. It was like a hand-picked orchestra through school and the area in Kansas City where I'm from. And we actually performed in Montreal, Canada, and then all over Kansas City, and then just local venues and stuff. And I was always involved with the church and playing Christmas songs. Those were one of the first few songs I learned on the violin, and piano and keyboard was Christmas songs. So yeah, I've always tried to incorporate my spirituality through my music and getting that message across to people, and I know rap and hip hop and stuff, a lot of it's about money and clothes and women and stuff like that, but I try not to put that stuff into my music, because that's just not how I live my life. And I try to make my music real, that comes from my heart, and stuff that I've been through. And music has always been kind of like my therapy. So yeah.
Yeah, and then a lot of your music, it has recovery in it,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of things that I mean, is kind of an epidemic in the society right now today, is people have been through too much, and they got to
Yeah.
figure out a way to cope with what it is that they've been through. So addiction is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. I've worked with Terry T-Bone Rhodes. He helped direct, and he was a videographer for all the music videos that I put out on YouTube. He's had a big impact on my life, not just with music, but personally. And he actually started a page called The Recovery Room, and he was on the radio down in Sarasota, Florida for many years. He's done acting gigs and stuff, and he's been part of movies and production, and he's also a very talented singer. He sang on 2 of my songs. The last one that I released, called Show Me the Way, it's featuring him. We recorded that down in Sarasota, Florida, about a year ago, and that got released. I mastered it and produced it with a producer down there called Travorce Jackson, or Travorce Scott, excuse me. And but yeah, Terry's had a big impact on my life. And not just him. I mean, I've worked with a lot of great producers, singers. Chantel Norman, great singer down in South Florida. VG Vince, he's also a close friend of mine. He's from Kansas City. He sang on the Miss Butterfly song and then the Deja Vu song. So, you know, all the songs, like the love songs, everything, I try to incorporate, you know, not only spirituality, but like recovery and just in general, just to give people hope and to help people. Because I think a lot of people listen to music just like as therapy of whatever they're going through. So all the music I've made is just comes from different situations that I've been through, you know, like my girlfriend passing away. So I made a song like kind of related to that. And I think that's where like the Miss Butterfly song came from. You know, it's recovery is a daily struggle. So, and then keeping the faith, especially in today's world, it's tough because there's so much out there in the world that's promoting all this stuff to kind of lead you down the wrong path, and to think that all this other stuff is more important, but really your own inner happiness and whatever makes you happy is what makes you happy, and just be yourself. I think a lot of people try and be somebody that they're not just to please other people. But if you're your true self, then your true friends are going to stick with you no matter what. So
people like seem to notice that a lot more whenever like they are in recovery. It's like how much that they do push like alcohol and stuff like that in commercials. And you can even watch TV without dealing with it. But I was at the gas station by my house the one day, and there was like liquor everywhere, and there was all these slushy machines, and she's like, there's like 400 and some different kinds of alcohol slushies in this gas station. And I'm like, 400 and something. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I got so upset.
I mean, it's everywhere. But you know, I think you know, you've got some inspirations out there. Like people saw Eminem perform at halftime, and he's been sober for many years off of, I think his drug was like pain pills and stuff, and he had a tough problem with that for years. So it's like people like that are out there. You just have to find it. And there's good people out there everywhere. And I think a lot of the media, just in general, they feed off the negativity and anything negative about anybody, period. They just feed off of that. And I try and push positivity and love through my music. And, you know, there's some songs I've made where I get stuff off my chest, and it may come off as like anger and stuff, but a lot of it is therapy for me. And then I try and help others, which helps myself kind of through the music. So
I had somebody I was talking to the other day about how like sometimes like you don't really feel attached to the world, because he had said that his emotions felt dead to him. And I said, you know, crying is actually like letting the top off the pot. And you know, and releasing the pressure. And you know, sometimes we just need like a good cry. And I said music is usually a good gateway to that, is like letting you actually see what's going on inside of there.
Definitely. I mean, music's always been my therapy. Like growing up, you know, my mom would listen to all types of music. So I would be there as a little kid listening. And I think a lot of it I didn't understand because I was so little, the lyrics and stuff, but I just liked the beats and the music and stuff. And she would listen to everything, like a little bit of everything from country to R&B to rock, to funk. And,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's always been a part of my life, and I think whether you do it professionally or you just are a fan or you're trying to make your way in music or whatever, I think it's good for people. It can be good. And, there's a lot of negative stuff out there too that people catch on to. And I try and stay away from that. I try and stay in my own lane. It's easy to get distracted, especially in today's world with social media and COVID and all that stuff going on. So
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, so you do like a lot of recovery songs. So I already know, but to let the world know that you are in recovery,
yep.
correct? And so what do you think is your saving grace whenever it comes to looking backwards and not making the same mistake?
I think just the stuff that I went through. I've been in rehab before, done time in jail, was part of the justice system for many, many years. So just to not put myself in that position anymore. And I had to get rid of a lot of, quote unquote friends, but you don't really know until you start changing your life around who your true friends are. And I noticed my circle became smaller, but it was necessary for like my growth. And I'm still battle stuff every day. We all have, demons inside, and I have my good days and my bad days in general. So, I think just me not wanting to go back to that. And that was, I was young, now I'm 33, I'll be 34 in August. So it's like, I think different people mature and they grow at different stages throughout their life. And mine was just, I went through a lot of stuff as a teenager. And so that was like the bad time in my life. Just like a lot of teenagers and young adults, they're lost trying to figure stuff out. And once you figure out who you are and what you want to do with your life, I think that's what's helped me get past all of that, and me just not wanting to go back to that. I don't even, really think about that kind of stuff anymore, because I'm just like, okay, the past is the past. You can't, let it control you. And there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, traumatic events. I think everybody goes through trauma and drama in their life. And I was listening to somebody today, actually, and they were saying, it doesn't matter how good of a person you are or how strong you are, bad stuff's gonna happen. Like, that's just part of life. And all you can do is control what you can control. And I try to be the best person I can be. I make mistakes. I'm a human being, just like you, just like everybody else. So I think that's what keeps me going, just not only with that, but like with my faith and spirituality, and then wanting to help people in general. And I think by helping others, it helps myself too.
Yeah. I had said once that like we're kind of like water, which I mean, we're made up of a lot of water. What is it? 70% water our bodies are made up of. Right. But I had related to somebody. I said that, it's like water. Like if it's sitting stagnant, it gets all dirty and stinky and mucky and nasty. I said that's kind of like humans. Like we have to have like a passion and I feel a pursuit. And if we're not actually like moving in any direction, but we're sitting still, that's whenever, you know, our mind starts doing these crazy things. But if we're
Yep.
like moving in a direction, gives us something to look forward to
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. And that's, you know, and the thing is too, you know, once you have any type of success with anything, it's easy to get complacent, you know, and to say, well, I've accomplished this and I've done this and I've done that. But then you got to think that, at least for me, I'm like, okay, you know, I look up to God. And that's what, like the last song I released called Show Me the Way. It's like, please, God, show me the way, you know. That's how the song starts out. And my faith is what's pushed me through a lot of situations. I've been blessed to be able to travel all over the United States and do music and perform in front of people and meet people from all over the world too. You know, right now I'm out in California. And so obviously California is like the Mecca. You got people from all over the world, you know, trying
Yeah.
to, so that's been awesome, you know, meeting people from all over the world, and just experiencing new things. And you know, another thing, like I said in that song that me and Terry made together, and Trevor, it's like you just got to keep on moving, you know, day by day, and you can't get complacent, because it is easy to get complacent once you've had success in whatever you do. And then if you're struggling, you know, just know that you can, I mean, you can move past your failures. It's just, it's up to you, you know. Day by day, you can make a change for yourself and world if you choose to. And it's hard, easier said than done, but you got to just let go of, you know, like I was talking about the drama and trauma and all that stuff, whatever other people do to you, you can't control that. The only thing you can control is how you react to it. And so that's what I do with my music and just how I live my life. I try and stay calm and level-headed, you know, not get too up or too down, because I think a lot of people, you know, it's good to have energy and all that. Like I bring energy with my music and stuff, but you don't want to get too up or too down, because then you can, again, get complacent or get a full head of yourself and think that you're better than what you are. And I think being humble and grateful is a huge factor with inner happiness and peace. And that's what I've been trying to find, is like inner happiness and peace. And I think that's what we're all trying to find, you know. And it's hard. It's hard, especially in today's world, because you got the media stuff, like I was saying, social media, and I'm on there, but I'm trying to push against all that negativity stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but if you join up with people like yourself and, you know, all these people out there, you know, that are really trying to do the same thing, it helps, and having a support system too. So yeah.
Yeah, it was like whenever COVID happened, I went to the water and I went and prayed and I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do for your people. Because I've
Yeah.
seen all these Christians losing their faith too.
Yeah.
Like getting scared and stuff. And that's like fear is the exact opposite of faith. So I'm like, God, like you're even losing your people, like, and everybody else. So it's like, what do you want me to do? And God was, and it was like, God told me like, everything is as it's supposed to be. Keep doing what you're doing. So what I basically did was like, I kept looking at like, what is, God loves us. Like, you know what I mean? And like looking at like innerness, like, how can we fix our insides? Like, how can we fix our mind instead? And I never went in that direction to where I would feed into all that.
Right.
Yeah. It was really sad though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is too, with like religion and stuff, you know, there's a lot of people who preach stuff, but then they live a completely different life. And
Yeah.
I would consider myself more like spiritual than religious. Like I am Christian Methodist, and I grew up going to church and stuff like that. But I try and just accept people for who they are, and not
Yeah.
judge them, no matter how much they judge me or whatever they want to say about me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge them back, because to me, a lot of that's been going on. And I think a lot of people's faith and spirituality has been tested through COVID,
Yeah.
through the economy, what's going on with the economy. Just the whole world's being tested, and there's always going to be something. I mean, whether it's COVID, there's always going to be something going on, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I try and unite people, not divide people. And I think, like, when I do my shows, like, anybody's welcome. And like, you see some churches where they only let like a certain type of person in, and it just depends on where you go, really. And you have to be careful of who you choose to be friends with and who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
The old sayings, like, you are who your friends are.
Yeah.
So it took me a lot of failures, and people doing bad stuff to me, and people that I trusted letting me down, and vice versa and stuff, to figure out, okay, it's tough to let people go, but sometimes you have to let people go so they can find themselves. And I just give it up to God, basically, and I let God's will do what God is, whatever his will is. That's what I let go and let God, and that's what I try and do daily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like too, in like recovery, it's like I tell people, like, what you're attracted to right now is going to be completely different a year from now if
yeah,
you're going to keep on growing. Like, because it was like the more I grew to love myself and know myself and appreciate myself and to see things clear through that, the
yeah,
more I could clearly see, you know, people that I might want to look up to, and then people that I want to reach my hand out to and help,
yeah,
but back then I was like completely different. So I would looked up to people that for now I would be like, are you okay? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, so like your friends are going to change because you changed
yeah,
and you see the world a lot differently and through clearer eyes, I believe.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, and I think the more you change and the more you mature, yeah, you definitely look at the world different. And I look at the world different, way different than I did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I started making music, my own music, right after high school. I used to go to my grandmother's house, and she was deaf. She passed away, but me and my
No.
cousin, used to make music until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, at her house. And this was way before, like, we would just get into his little studio that he had in his room. And that's kind of where I first started learning how to produce and compose my own music. Because before that, like I said, I was in a symphonic orchestra and stuff, and I still play my violin and piano and keyboard and stuff. But that's, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's kind of where I started with the music, and it's kind of taken off since then. I went down to Florida after that, and I met a guy named Alan Pryor, and we made a project called the Choices EP, and that got some attention down there. And he actually hooked me up with doing some live shows, and that's when I really started getting into the songwriting, composing, and the hip hop part of it, and writing songs and poems and stuff. And big shout out to him if he sees this. So yeah, he believed in me. Yeah, he believed in me. And I actually talked to him the other day. So I mean, he's a good person. Like, I try and surround myself around good people.
Yeah.
Especially in the music industry, you'll run into people that are arrogant sometimes, and to me, I'm just like, well, I don't really want to work with people like that in general. I don't care what kind of following you have or whatever. And luckily, the people I've worked with, a lot of them, most of them, if not all of them, I still talk to. I'm still friends with them. And but I think just whatever you do for a living, or what you do in general, whatever your passion is, surrounding yourself around good people, that's everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you do the churches have you go in to do music in there, or they just
I have
try?
done that. I have done churches
Yeah.
before, but yeah. But usually it's a venue. I've been lucky enough to perform in Southern California lately, down the coastline. So my next show is actually in San Diego at the Little Italy Market on Tuesday. And then I'm going to the Tempe Center of Arts in Tempe, Arizona, March 1st. But so far this year, I performed in downtown LA, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, and Laguna Beach. I've performed all over the place. So yeah, I'm completely independent. I've been offered record labels and deals and contracts and stuff. And I've always believed to just stay independent, and that way I own the music. And I just believe in helping other people. And I'm not into music to become a millionaire or to become famous. I'm just trying to help people and help myself along the way. So
Yeah, and I definitely think that your music, for sure, is inspirational.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah. So I got a couple songs that I decided to share. Is
Okay.
You Spoke Of, Show Me the Way, Can't Hold Me Down, and Miss Butterfly.
Yep.
And right now you're on your 5th tour, and you said you already said about that. But I definitely plan on sharing your links and
Thank you.
stuff. And yeah, it's really awesome. I've been trying to get you to do this for a minute, and
I
I'm
know,
so
I've been busy.
grateful that I'm so grateful that I got you.
Definitely. Yeah, vice
All right.
versa.
All right, have a good night.
Okay, you too.
All right, bye.